Hey Aquarius, what's going on? We're here with a timeless reading. So what I was seeing when I was doing the pre-shuffle was Temperance and the Three of Cups, and so it was just sticking out to me. There can be something socially that you are hoping to balance out or just tending to right now, whether it be like, I want to focus more on my friends, or I need to focus more on work right now, or I'm trying to figure out a social situation, something like, it feels like just something that's being tended to in some way that looks like it has to do with you and like who you socialize with or how you socialize, or like your friend group or gaining a friend group or something like that, you know, or like tending even to a friendship or something. All right, so we are starting off here with the Magician. On this Magician card, there is that balance and connection between head and heart, so maybe something happening with that. The connection between the two. Getting them to work together. Okay. So we have the Page of Pentacles and also the Moon and also the Knight of Cups. It looks to me like there's something that you're trying to get done or something that you're trying to do, or I see the Magician a lot about like our intention with something that we're doing. Like, and in this card too, you have one hand pointing up, one hand pointing down. It's like as above, so below, that whole thing. So like what's going on inside that's what you're gonna see reflected. And having the Page of Pentacles come out, there can be a need for you to look at this from a practical side of things, but also to start off in a way that feels digestible even to you, because a page is sort of starting off small with something and not overdoing it. But because it's tied to the pentacle, it is about being practical, and it's about really paying attention to what you're doing and being deliberate. Then we have the Moon here, which feels sort of like an unknown situation that you're in right now, that you're figuring out. And so the suggestion is for you to be clear on your intention, to analyze that if you're not sure of it, and to also take practical steps as well. Then over here we have the Knight of Cups. So this can be I feel like you're going through something, and at the end of it, there may be an ability then to articulate how you feel, but you may not necessarily be there yet. Even though you can have sort of an idea of what's taking shape, having the Moon here would suggest that not everything is known or explored right now, and that more is going to be discovered. For those of you that this has to do with a relationship, you're going to be getting to the point where you can like explain what you want from a partner, sort of what you're looking for within a relationship or like a friendship, something like that. Because it can be somebody looking at you and being like, what do you want? What are you trying to experience? And at this point, you being like, I sort of have an idea, but I don't feel like I have the clearest idea yet. So I sort of get you going in whatever way this is that you're entering into the Moon, because the Moon is like stuff that's there within us that we're trying to tap into and bring to the front, to bring light to, meaning awareness. And then at that point, there's like, you're going to be ready to express that in whatever way this is that you choose. You could have felt like there was some, I'm getting the word discrepancy sort of between like maybe what you wanted or what you wanted to experience versus what was going on. And I feel like that's something that's being sorted out here. I'm also seeing the Five of Pentacles, and we are going to put that over here by the Magician, which would have one feeling like the Magician is about what we're creating in life and the circumstances that we find ourselves in, but also how, again, like our intentions are going to be manifesting for us. And the way that this is coming through is sort of like, I want this to happen, or I want to be in this type of situation, or like this is what I'm looking for. But then Five of Pentacles is almost like not believing that you can do that, because like when we think about the Magician, it's about having what we need to accomplish what we want. So it's like if I want to like go out there and like create that mural, it's like your spirit guides put all of the spray paint in your backpack and like the tape and the stencil or like whatever else it is that you need, you know, the ladder, and you have it all there with you, but you may not be realizing that yet. And having the Five of Pentacles come out is sort of this reminder or an awareness or a hey, it's time to check in and see like where are you limiting yourself right now, because you're capable of something here, but you may not be realizing that you're not believing that, or that you are limiting yourself. And with the Five of Pentacles, it can be these very practical things where it's like, I'm just being rational here, like this is not possible, but the Magician would tell us otherwise. I also too feel like you're finding your voice for your emotions, because I'm not seeing it come up for other things. This feels more like, and again, like with this head and heart thing, I'm seeing a lot of things that are alluding to an expression, not just about, hey, I think this about this. This is more like when you're feeling something, that communication about that, and that spending time looking into what's going on emotionally for me, because you may not have an issue knowing what you think about certain things or your opinion about this or that, you know, like the intellectual stuff, you may not find that to be difficult for you. It may be very easy for you to tap into that, but then when stuff is happening emotionally for you, you may find that more difficult to reach at times. And that's what the moon is about. It's like going into that heart space, going into these parts of ourselves that at times are not so easily accessible to us, and then expressing them somehow. And Five of Pentacles, like coming out after the Knight of Cups, it can be like reasons why we don't express ourselves, you know, like feeling like the other person isn't gonna listen, or the other person isn't gonna like what we have to say, or just things like that. That like reasons that stop us from like fulfilling this sort of urge for us to express ourselves, that now it's become so muted even that we don't even try anymore. And taking practical steps to figure out why that is. Feeling too that I get having the Page of Pentacles here and then having the moon. So you can picture the moon like water. And so we have very easy access to the stuff that's above water. And when we go below the surface, it's like you have to hold your breath and go down there and sort of collect things as far as like what's going on subconsciously, what's kind of tucked away. To have the Page of Pentacles here, it would be a reminder that you don't need to go all the way down to the bottom and be holding your breath in a way where you're like, I'm not an experienced diver, like this is too difficult for me, like, and bite off more than you can chew. Having the Page of Pentacles here says you can just go down like a little bit and grab what's there and then bring it to the top. Like you don't have to be really extra about this process. And that could have been something that like sort of kept you away from even touching this in the first place, being like, it's just going to be too much if I try to do that because there's just too much there, and I just don't know if I'm ready to sort of penetrate that. Yeah, I'm seeing this have to do with stuff from your past. I'm definitely getting some things that are actually like kind of repressed to have Six of Cups connecting with the moon, right? Because the moon is kind of like what's hidden from us. Six of Cups having to do with our past. Page of Pentacles here about how we're practically going to sort of address this. So you may find, you know how there are like all these different methods to connecting with your subconscious energy and things that you're not realizing? I'm getting a very strong suggestion for you to do this in a practical way. Maybe even a more traditional route that you're going to take, because Pentacles are also about like doing things in a more traditional way, even in a more reserved way. Let me just use an example, okay? So in order for you to tap into this stuff, it's like if I were seeing something besides the Page of Pentacles here, it would be like maybe you could have like some sort of ceremony or something like that and go out and like dance with the moon or whatever it is that you want to do, you know, like something more spiritually or energetically based. But to have this Page of Pentacles here, it means like maybe you're going to do something more practical, like start like journal, or do some sort of reflective practices where it's sort of like schoolwork, like that sort of thing, or do like a therapy session, or it's like that kind of thing where it's more grounded and practical. And I am getting this kind of like school related vibe, almost like having an assignment, like something more solid in front of you. Because I get that if you were trying to address this in a way that were sort of more out there, you may find it hard to sort of like find a foothold. And not that you can't explore those paths later on, but I'm getting like the suggestion be to start in a way that does feel practical to you and that also doesn't feel overwhelming to you as well. So you're not taking on too much and then like running in the opposite direction. So it feels even like something more methodical that you're going to be doing. I'm not saying that like having a ceremony or whatever doesn't work. Like different things work for different people. I'm just telling you what's suggested here. So if this were a different situation, there would be different suggestions. This is just what's being suggested here. I do also get the vibe as well, like whether this be something that you openly acknowledge or not, I'm seeing something here that sort of says, based off of my past, like I feel like I'm limited because of that. I feel like it has somehow limited me or somehow disadvantaged me in some way. And I'm seeing that's like also what's being worked through as well currently. Because I'm not, even though you may hear me saying this and be like, well, this is just what I believe, I'm not seeing that be the case. I'm not seeing it say, yep, you're limited by your past. It just is what it is. There's nothing you can do about it. I'm seeing that like that's what you believe. That doesn't mean that it's true. It's just tied in with a belief system. And belief systems can change. Whatever this is that you've experienced, which feels not only like a recent situation, this feels like something like deep past for you. I get that it's almost put like a fog or a haze on certain things that Meaning, like, you may look at other people and be like, how have they known that's what they wanted their whole life? Or like, this person just seems like they've had such a direction. And then you can look at yourself and be like, I feel like I didn't have that, or like I was out of touch, or just maybe I did feel in touch, but something wasn't obvious to me, you know, like something felt more difficult for you, you could feel, or that, you know, sometimes we see other people, and this isn't about like comparison as far as value of like they're there and you should be there too or anything like that. It's more so just like checking things out and observing. There can be like a situation where you see someone like really young and they have a gift with something, and then that's what they do for their whole life. Okay, so you can look at that and be like, there's such a focus, and it just seems so obvious that that person would do that thing, and when I look at what I'm doing, it doesn't feel obvious to me like that at all. And this can be in a general sense, it can be in a particular area of your life, but it's just something that's connected with the past that now creates some sort of haze over some area of your life, where you can feel like you wish there was a little bit more direction, or something were a little bit more clear. Because I'm even getting this feeling of like, I do want to be able to express how I feel, but sometimes I don't know even what that is to be expressing in the first place. This is feeling a little bit Aquarius moon here to me. And we also, like, we do see the moon here as well. We also see Mercury too. And the moon can represent Pisces too. But I'm also just feeling like very moon energy, which is going to be connected with your emotions. And the moon is also connected with our past as well. So I'm getting this whole needing to go into this part of yourself and do this self-discovery. It's going to make something more clear, so you feel like when the time comes, you're going to be able to say something, to express something that right now the feeling is it's sort of unclear what that is that you're trying to communicate here. And so it's going to take this sort of like reflection and investigating to do. Like something majorly being sorted out here. Yeah, what I'm seeing this now. Some of you, you're getting help with this from somebody. That's what this Page of Pentacles can be about too. Like for some of you, it can be doing something practically, a practical approach to this. For some of you, there may be somebody that's coming through that's going to help you with this. When I say practical, I feel like it would be a more like straightforward process of like there even being like rules or like questions to answer, something that feels more like material because it's pentacles, instead of it being a more like abstract process. Because like that abstract nature, it sort of feels like right now we're trying to discover that or organize that or understand it. And so taking this more material or practical approach is going to help this be like conceptualized even. And it's going to give you a sense of direction here. Again, like emotionally. It feels like this is all emotionally based. Like it's going to make something clear. It's going to make something obvious. Yeah. Okay. So we have this Ace of Cups, which speaks about us connecting and feeling. And it just slid over here by the Five of Pentacles. So there can be something that like you want to feel a connection or you want to connect with something, but you almost feel like you can't. And having Seven of Cups be before that, that can be like, what do I actually want to connect with? So like out of all of the different things that I can, like which one? Like what do I even choose? So I'm getting that that's sort of what this is about here. It's figuring out as you go through this process, it's going to lead you to the point of being able to know with a sense of confidence what you want to be connecting with and be able to express that. I feel like this is pretty straightforward. So that's ultimately, like, we start with the Magician and we end with this Ace of Cups here. So that's ultimately what's happening. Like, what you are doing as the Magician, what you are creating, what going through this process is going to do, what it's going to manifest in your life is the Ace of Cups, which is connection. A connection of some sort to something, to someone. So that's what's happening here. Okay? All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm wishing everybody love and light, and I will catch you guys next time.